Here are the top breaking news for today, being Tuesday, 25th of August 2026. Security. Mass abduction in Niger State remains a major national concern. One of the biggest security stories is the emergence of a video appearing to show about 600 people, mainly women, children, and elderly people, abducted after an attack during Friday prayers in Deraka, Niger State. Reuters reports that residents identified relatives among those shown in the footage, although the exact number and location of the captives have not independently been verified. The authorities have not yet confirmed the figure of 600. This is particularly alarming because mass kidnapping has increasingly affected communities in Nigeria's northwest and north-central regions. Other security developments today. Troops record a 202% increase in terrorist surrenders, according to TVC News. Nigerian soldier rescued a kidnapped victim and recovered an AK-47 in Kogi State. Police also reported rescuing 3 kidnapped victims and recovering the abductors' weapons and vehicle. The Osun governor has tasked the newly deployed Commissioner of Police with tackling insecurity and ensuring impartial policing following killings in Ikire. The NFIU says terrorists are increasingly exploiting dead persons' bank accounts and crowdfunding channels to move and raise money. Politics. The fake agency scandal deepens. This remains one of the biggest political governance stories in Nigeria today. The ICPC uncovered another alleged fictitious government office called the National Brand Development and Made in Nigeria Special Project Office. It was say it had obtained office space within the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation (OSGF), despite allegedly having no legitimate government status. President Tinubu ordered the immediate arrest of alleged promoter George Buchi Nwabweze, the suspension of 3 permanent secretaries, MS Danjuma, Nadungu Gagare, and Richard P. Filangwa. Continued ICPC investigation into how the organization was able to operate within government premises. Investors say Nwabweze allegedly operated under several variations of his name and that the organization established a nationwide network of coordinators. The development follows the earlier investigation into the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council (PFIPC), another organization authorities have described as fictitious. The ICPC today also cleared Femi Gbajabiamila of wrongdoing in connection with the PFIPC investigation, according to Premium Times. This scandal is now generating wide concern over how unauthorized organizations were able to penetrate the federal government administrative structure. 2027 politics heat up. Nigeria's political environment is increasingly dominated by preparations for the 2027 presidential election. The APC continues to defend President Tinubu's performance, while opposition figures are attacking the administration over insecurity, inflation, and the cost of living. APC spokesman Felix Moka today argued that Tinubu has outperformed previous elected presidents, while former Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello is also calling on Nigerians to support Tinubu for a second term. This comes as Nigeria has entered the campaign season and the economic and security situation are becoming major issues in the 2027 contest. Reuters reports that economic hardship and insecurity are among voters' biggest concerns. Economy. Petrol supply falls while imports rise. A major economic energy story is the latest NMDPRA data showing that average daily petrol supply from domestic refineries fell to 20.6% in July. Domestic supply dropped from 32.5 million litres per day to 25.8 million litres per day, while petrol imports increased from 18.1 million litres per day to 19.7 million litres per day. Total domestic imported supply fell from 50.6 million litres per day in June to 45.5 million litres per day in July. This is significant because it comes amid the continuing debate over Nigeria's fuel subsidy policy and the country's refining capacity. Subsidy debate continues. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's proposal for a targeted capped fuel subsidy continues to generate strong political and economic reactions. The presidency and APC have criticized the proposal, while some economists and energy experts argue that government should provide relief for Nigerians facing the high cost of living. Naira remains relatively stable against the dollar. The Naira remained relatively stable against the dollar today, according to market reports, with traders monitoring developments in the FX markets. The broader economic argument remains divided. Government officials say the reforms have stabilized public finances and improved investor confidence, while critics point to the continuing pressure on household purchasing power. Fuel and energy remain major economic concerns. The decline in domestic petrol supply is particularly important because Nigeria is trying to move toward greater resilience on domestic refining. The latest figures indicate that increased imports are partly compensating for lower domestic refinery output. This means the performance of Nigeria's refineries and especially the country's ability to sustain domestic petrol production remains a major economic issue. Education. ASUU strikes hit universities. Two significant university strike developments emerged today. IBB University, La Pai. The ASUU branch of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University, IBBU, La Pai, Niger State, has declared an indefinite strike. The union says the Niger State government has failed to implement key provisions for the 2025 federal government ASUU agreement, despite negotiations and appeals. Ambrose Ali University, Edo. The ASUU chapter of Ambrose Ali University, Epoma, also commenced an indefinite strike today. Its demands include implementation of the 2025 FGN ASUU agreement and payment of allowance owed from January 2026. The action affects lecturers' examinations, research, supervision, and other academic activities. So, education is becoming another major pressure point for both federal and state universities. Government announces new funding support for students. Education Minister Maruf Tonji Alausa welcomed President Tinubu's directive concerning a new funding agreement aimed at providing additional financial support for Nigerian students. The development is being presented as part of efforts to reduce financial barriers to higher education. Health. Child abuse called a national emergency. Mental health experts are urging the federal government to declare a national emergency on child abuse. Psychiatrists say increasing cases of child abuse require stronger national intervention and protection mechanisms. Mental and newborn health. The Lagos State Government and traditional birth attendants (TBAs) are strengthening their referral system in an attempt to reduce maternal and newborn deaths. Health sector salary crisis remains unresolved. The Nigeria Labour Congress has warned of the responsibility of another health sector strike if the lingering salary dispute involving health workers is not resolved. This could become an important national health story if negotiations fail. Infrastructure and technology. Nigeria's internet use hit record level. Nigeria's internet data composition has reportedly increased 44%, reaching approximately 1.5 million terabytes in the 12th month to May. The development reflects the rapid expansion of internet use, smartphones, streaming, digital businesses, and online services in Nigeria. Finance Minister Taiwo Oyedele also emphasized today that digital infrastructure, secure connectivity, and data sovereignty are increasingly important to Nigeria's economic development. Nigeria moves toward producing two new satellites. The federal government is engaging Israel and French companies in plans connected to the production of two satellites for Nigeria. The initiative is part of the country's broader effort to strengthen communications, space technology, and digital infrastructure. Housing, housing. Affordable housing remains a major concern. The federal government housing program continues to attract attention as Nigeria struggles with a severe housing affordability problem. Recent government figures indicate that 1,859 families across 25 states have accessed mortgages worth about 128 billion naira through the Mortgage Bank MOF linked initiatives. At the same time, housing affordability, particularly for young Nigerians and low-income workers, remain a major political issue. Entertainment. Ogogo laid to rest. Veteran Nollywood Yoruba actor Taiwo Hassan, popularly known as Ogogo, was buried in his hometown of Ilaro, Ogun State. President Tinubu and Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun were among those who mourned the legendary actor. Ogogo's death at 66 after battling cancer has continued to generate major discussion across Nigeria's entertainment industry. There has also been renewed discussion about cancer awareness following his death, including health education about symptoms that can sometimes be mistaken for another condition. Sports football. DSS and NIA investigate NFF. This is one of today's most surprising developments. The Department of State Service (DSS) and National Intelligence Agency (NIA) are investigating allegations that some senior officials of the Nigerian Football Federation may have been working with foreign interests in a way that could undermine Nigeria's national security. According to security source cited by The Guardian, intelligence agencies intercepted communications considered potentially disturbing. The investigation is reportedly broader than the previously discussed 17 billion naira NFF intervention fund. The NFF has also been under intense pressure following Nigeria's recent football setback. Important: the allegations remain under investigation. They should not be treated as established guilt. Foreign affairs. Northern Cyprus introduces e-visa for Nigerians. Northern Cyprus has introduced a new electronic visa system, initially covering nationals of Nigeria, Armenia, and Syria. This is potentially important for Nigerians traveling to the territory because the new system is designed to simplify the visa process. US announces fresh sanctions involving Iran. On the international front, The United States has announced new sanctions against Iran and threatened penalties against countries and entities trading with Iran. The development is significant for Nigeria because international oil markets, energy prices, and global geopolitical tensions can have direct effects on Nigeria's economy. Eidul Maulid. Nationwide messages for peace and unity. Nigeria is also observing Eidul Maulid, with political and religious leaders calling for peace, unity, tolerance, and prayers for the country. Bauchi Governor Bala Mohammed, for example, urged Muslims to use the occasion to pray for peace, security, and economic prosperity in Nigeria. The federal government also declared today a public holiday for the celebration. These are all the biggest stories we have for today, being the 25th of August 2026. So please also take note that Nigeria is a state of diverse of culture, ethnic, tribe, religion, languages, and so on and so forth. Please do not promote hate in any of these categories, but instead let national unity, national progress, national peace, including national development, be your number one priority. I remain the bitter truth, no time.